job search begins for young Manitobans right now, camped out near the Bestlands building on Main. At 7 o'clock, we have a Winnipeg temperature of 11 Celsius. Charles Adler, 58 CKY Morning News. On the Skywatch is Captain John.
And just over Nairn right now, steady flow of traffic up to the Nairn overpass. Once you're in downtown, a detour has been set up on Portage Avenue between Hargrave and Memorial as work begins to reconstruct Portage Avenue downtown, and traffic will be maintained through there. 2 lanes in each direction on the south side of the street. I'll be back with a full report with Skywatch at 7:10.
I'm Mike O'Hearn. Hanlon and the Wings advance against the Oilers, and the Flyers get set to host the Habs.
I'm Rich Heller. AccuWeather says today will turn out sunny with a high near 22.
The annual job search for thousands of youngsters in Manitoba officially starts this morning when the Student Youth Employment Center opens for business. 8,000 to 10,000 people are expected to register with the center, operated jointly by the feds and the provincial government. Up to 30,000 students will be looking for summer work in Manitoba. The Student Youth Employment Center is located on the main floor of the Bestlands building, 191 Pioneer Avenue at the corner of Main. Employees of West Fair Foods, and they operate Super Value, Economart, and Shop Easy, have overwhelmingly rejected the latest contract offer and approved strike action. More than 80% of the workers voting in favor of strike activity against West Fair. Out of 891 ballots, more than 732 were cast, and no strike deadline has yet been set. The union and management will be meeting again today to try to avert a walkout. AIDS is not expected to become a heterosexual epidemic in North America. As long as heterosexuals continue to practice traditional sex, it is just one of the several messages contained in a national documentary produced here in Winnipeg by 58 CKY News. Part 2 of the National AIDS Report aired yesterday. Because of reaction to the special, the entire 2-hour documentary will be rebroadcast next Sunday morning at 9. The National AIDS Report, The Untold Story, next Sunday at 9 a.m. on 58 CKY. Time is 7:04, and the Habs get set to meet the Flyers tonight, while Edmonton will be hosting the Detroit Red Wings.
Someday over the next 10 years, people will look back on last night's Norris final and pose this question. What 3 teams have bounced back from 3-game-to-1 deficits to win their respective playoff rounds? And you'll say, well, there was the 42 Maple Leafs who beat Detroit. In 1975, the Islanders did it to Pittsburgh. And the big test, here it is, this year's version of the Red Wings, who finally got revenge on those 1942 Leafs. Adam Oates scored the game winner in the first. Glenn Hanlon was superb in net, putting together a second shutout in 3 games. The Wings blanked the Leafs 3-zip. Leaf ace Wendell Clark said Detroit won fair and square because his club never gave up. And Timmy Raines, starring in an off-Broadway production over the weekend, he clubbed his second homer in as many days. Again, it was the game winner. The Expos blanked the Mets 2-0, and what a deal he's turning out to be.
Is there anyone in the world with an IQ above 5 who is not going to believe that the Canadians threw the game?
I didn't.
Sweden 9, Team Canada nothing.
Kind of tough to believe, isn't it?
Very tough.
Hey, well, maybe they were just getting back at that referee, although he was a Czechoslovakian referee, for the way they lost to the Czechs on Friday.
Pretty classy way to go out, eh?
Well,
it's 7 minutes after. 7:07 from 58 CKY with Skywatch and AccuWeather.
It's morning, and we're ready to start your day. A McDonald's morning, the springtime ride, a breakfast you can take away. Live your fantasy, that's all apart. Live your fantasy.
58 CKY, and good morning, Captain John.
Hey, good morning, Charles. The detour has been set up on Portage Avenue between Hargrave and Memorial downtown as work begins to reconstruct Portage Avenue downtown. And traffic will be maintained there, but it will be 2 lanes in either direction on the south side of the street. So a couple of little diversions for you. Watch for those barricades. Also, work begins later this morning. Waverly between Wilkes and Clarence, and Grant between Chalfont and Kinnison. And they are just resurfacing the road there. Traffic in both of these areas will be reduced to 1 lane in each direction. Other than that, not much change in construction. The St. James Bridge just under me right now, and it's looking pretty much the same as it did last week. A good steady flow over there northbound, heading up to the Polo Park area. Your Monday morning traffic is just building heading into downtown, but as usual, a little later on, Osborne, Pembina, and St. Mary's will be slow approaching the downtown area. I'll be back with Skywatch at 7:25.
And I bet you need the exact time. In 5 seconds, it'll be exactly 11 minutes after 7. Rich Heller, what have you got this morning?
Although clouds and a couple of sprinkles were around during the night, Charles, we're into a clearing pattern for today. We're looking for a lot of sunshine, not only to come back out today, but again tomorrow and probably even on Wednesday. And there will be another warm-up for a day or two, then a little bit of cooling the middle or second half of the week.
Okay, Rich, how about a summary?
Today, sunshine returns, the high near 22. Clear tonight, low 6. Sunny to partly cloudy, breezy and warmer tomorrow, high 25 to perhaps even 27. Partial sunshine Wednesday, high 20 to 22. For AccuWeather, meteorologist Rich Heller.
We had some sprinkles overnight, and the humidity is considerably higher than it was last week at this time. We're up to 94%. The winds are light, and the official temperature 11 Celsius. For Rich Heller and the rest of the 58 CKY morning crew, Charles Adley with you. The time is 11 minutes after 7, 7:11. You're with Manitoba's most listened to radio station, Stereo 58 CKY.
Okay, Banana, take 34.
Mic test,
can you
1,
put
2?
some soul into it, Earl?
Yeah, okay. There's a bunch of crazy dumb bananas. There's a bunch of crazy dorks called the morning crew. Every morning they all go bananas, bouncing off the padded walls. Yeah, I do too. Of course, there's Ron, he's a bone, always telling yarns. With Captain John and Charles and Mike, what a bunch of darns. Yeah, in the morning we all go bananas. All I do was crank my radio up with CKY. Bananas with the crew.
Oh, Earl, that was wonderful.
Stereo 58, CKY.
To take him out sometime. Have him shot. How you doing? 12 minutes after 7 o'clock with the 58 CKY morning crew. Lots of winning coming up this hour. All the details moments from now. And it's National Forestry Week. Did you realize last week they chose Miss Forestry Week? You should have seen her. Seen her? No, actually, Forestry Week. Stop that, please. It's a good time to get out. Don't stay at home pining away. I mean, you got to get out and branch out, right?
Don't